I don't even really have a joke for this one. Adin Ross sat down with Donald Trump. Let's talk about it. So it's been hinted for a couple weeks now that Adin Ross, streamer who has been missing for a couple months, will come back with a big bang on his very first stream. And his first stream was kind of calm, but he kind of had hinted at and mentioned that he was going to have some very big guests, one of them being Donald Trump. Now, we've seen this story before because Adin Ross has claimed to bring on political figures to his stream and have them come in, but all of it's been some sort of ruse or joke.
With your money, we can now, that I've stolen from you, we can launch missiles to New York.
Okay. The rumblings got much more serious when Donald Trump's name came up, and ultimately today he had him on stream. But this one started to gain a lot of steam, and it was even confirmed to be true. And here we are today where Donald Trump, the former president, somebody that's currently on the ballot to be elected, is on Adin Ross's stream. Now, Adin Ross, the intellect, is exactly who we want stepping into the political sphere. I mean, he's really been diving deep into it recently, and he's becoming more knowledgeable each and every single day. So who else to speak to Trump but this man right here?
What does a fascist mean? A far-right authorization on ultra-analyst political ideology movement characterized by dictator leadership, centralized autocracy, forcible suppression of opposition. I don't know what that means, bro. I swear to God. I don't know what the fuck a fascism is. Benito Mussolini and Giovanni Gentile and Jason Stanley. Like, who the fuck are these people, bro? What is an example of a fascist? All right, bro. See what I'm saying, chat? Like, this is why I don't fuck with y'all, bro.
I'm glad that leaders like Huey P. Newton and Martin Luther King can rest easy because we have Adin Ross to take up for him in today's society. But seriously, though, Adin has been diving a lot into politics naturally because it is the campaign season, and he is uncovering, well, what seems to be to him some unsavory truths about the whole political landscape.
I have so much love and respect for Quavo as an artist. I really wish I didn't see what Quavo did. Kamala Harris is DMing rappers. She DM'd Snot posted on Twitter. She's trying to endorse rappers to come and do it. Megan Thee Stallion and Quavo, they probably took a bag to go do it. It's sad, bro. It's really, really sad. But that's why it's free Tory. And again, guys, it is what it is.
Now, over the past couple of years, there's been this growing involvement of sports, entertainment, and politics throughout the entirety of the nation. It started with Colin Kaepernick, and here we are today. Everything from right-wing grifters have emerged over the past couple of years, like Sneeko and the Hodge twins, to pushing these political messages in sports, entertainment, and just on the internet in general. Hell, even when there was an attempt on the former president's life, people used that as a moment to get either their disgusting takes off or use this as a way to prop up him as some sort of martyr and use that cool ass photo as their moment of triumph. And now we're seeing politicians partner up with the biggest celebrities, entertainers in the world in order to push their campaign agendas. So like Adin Ross said, Kamala Harris did recently have Meg Thee Stallion on her campaign run in Atlanta. This is recently after she was just nominated to be the person representing the Democrats after Joe Biden had to step out of the race. And a lot of people did not like it.
What's up, honey? This is your girl, Meg Thee Stallion, aka the Hot Girl Coach, reporting live with the future president of the United States. Everybody.
Now, the reason why a lot of people are upset about Meg Thee Stallion being up on stage is not because she is a rapper, not because she is a woman, but because of the imagery of her twerking.
In my opinion, it really shows what she feel and think about the black community. Of all people, Michelle Obama wasn't available, Condoleezza Rice wasn't available, someone who's actually a good role model that young children could look up to, but that's neither here nor there.
You do not have to dumb yourself down to engage with black Americans. It just made her look like a puppet to me. She shouldn't have showed up as Megan Thee Stallion. She should have been Megan Pete.
You know, the rally that Kamala Harris put together in Atlanta, and you have Megan Thee Stallion on stage twerking, and it was just a clown show. It was a circus.
Absolutely baffles me how strong the sister code is. It is so strong that it allows these women to completely ignore twerking at a political rally.
Now look, Meg Thee Stallion could be a very educated woman, but people just do not like the idea of her twerking beside president candidate Kamala Harris, VP, you know, decorated woman in politics. It just didn't sit right with a lot of people. But it's not anything new because those forms of entertainment and athletes and rappers and stuff like that have always been partnered with politicians. People get so mad at Kamala Harris for having Megan Thee Stallion come up on stage and twerk, but forget that Amber Rose, the creator of the Slut Walk, was literally at a Trump rally doing all this grifting and talking about how she is championing Donald Trump. Now remember, she should go against everything that the right-wing conservatives have in mind. She is a single mother out of wedlock, etc., who is a prostitute, right? Who champions abortions and freedom of body and all this other stuff. But the next step in the way to get the youth to go out there and vote is by partnering up with one of the world's biggest streamers in Adin Ross.
And I'll tell you about TikTok. Trump is going to keep TikTok going. Harris, they have no idea what it means. We're going to save TikTok.
Just a walk in hypocrisy. Now, I watched some of the interview, and it was a pretty difficult watch. Mostly because there were these cringe questions that were asked about arbitrary people, arbitrary free thems. How do you feel about this, that, and the third, without really getting into anything deep? Exactly what I would expect from like an Adin Ross stream. I don't think his group, Trump's group, had to prepare him for any sort of backlash or pushback because they didn't really expect Adin Ross to give any real pushback to anything that Trump had to say.
I have a friend who's currently being treated unfair by her rapper named Young Thug.
Yeah.
And I
heard that.
I just was wondering if there's a way that we can make sure he gets treated fair, that's all.
I heard he's being treated very unfairly by her, and I would tell her she's got to treat these patriots that are being all terrible. They're going after him. And I hear Young Thug is being treated, I heard the name.
Yeah.
I heard it from other people where they say he's being treated very unfairly.
Very unfair.
So he's got to be treated fairly.
Now, I know living in Atlanta that Trump is going to have some personal feelings towards Fannie because that's somebody else who wants to bring up charges against him. But does Adin Ross know the intricacies of the details? No, absolutely not. He really doesn't even know what's going on in the Young Thug situation. He just likes bebopping around to the music, I guess. And again, I don't think that Adin Ross has the mental capacity to really be having these sorts of conversations. And that's no disrespect to him, but the people that are moderators to these platforms, that are political commentators and stuff like that, really have long-standing history. And I think that there's room for both to exist. Somebody who has long-standing history in politics, foreign affairs, et cetera, to be able to ask questions to the presidential candidates and stuff like that, to know when to push back, to know when to ask a follow-up question behind these things. And there's also room for the lay consumer to ask questions. I just think that it's very dangerous when you don't at least blend those two things. And I think Adin Ross could have done potentially a better job at that, especially when we get into things like the foreign affairs.
Getting along with the foreign leaders. If you're smart, our country is safe. If you're stupid, and that's a problem. We have stupid people there now. And those people are very dangerous. You know, I'm hearing there's going to be an attack tonight of Israel. They're going to be attacked tonight. I'm telling you right now. I hear it just through the same waves. There's no top secret information or anything. If I were president, nobody would even be talking about that word because it wouldn't happen 100%. These people are a danger to our country. They get a guy like Biden in. He's just a vessel. He has no idea where the hell he is.
What a thing to say on the internet in front of 2 million people. Now, a lot of people are saying, Omar, do you have a problem with Adin Ross doing this but not Meg Thee Stallion? To be honest with you, no. Now, I understand why both sides do it. People are engaged by different topics, conversations, or whatever by different means. Some people, it takes the money. Some people, it takes the politics. Some people, it takes the favorite actor, rapper, entertainer, athlete, or whatever the case may be. And if it all gets to people listening to or understanding the politics, then hey, who am I to judge? It's all about marketing at the end of the day. I do wish, though, that there was some more intention behind this and people would do their due diligence as opposed to just saying, hey, my favorite rapper is doing X, Y, and Z, or my favorite streamer is doing LMNOP. There were people on Twitter today saying, hey, maybe this Trump guy isn't so bad just because he was ending up on Adin Ross's stream. Not necessarily because he was saying the greatest thing, but just because Adin Ross got Trump on his stream. Some people might view this attempt at getting people into politics to be a little predatory, but at the end of the day, I can at least say that Adin Ross is essentially introducing his younger audience or whatever audience that we're describing his audience to be to politics as a whole, which is a good thing. The stuff that these people do ultimately affects our day-to-day lives. So I am glad that people will be able to participate or even say to themselves, maybe I need to become a little bit more knowledgeable on what's going on based off of my favorite streamer being up there. The thing that I have an issue with, though, is that these partnerships kind of make these content creators, entertainers, athletes seem to be as credible and knowledgeable as the people that they're having on stage with them or any other political pundits out there. But in reality, they're no smarter than the 12-year-olds that they're streaming to. But I do think that this is a kudos to Adin Ross as a whole because ultimately it's crazy to think that an ex-president and somebody that is actually a presidential candidate for this year's election would be on your stream. I know nobody thought that coming from like playing 2K and streaming with the boys would lead to anything like this. And people are always saying use your platforms to make change. Now, you may not agree with the change, but it is pretty impressive that he is able to get such a high-ranking official, whether you disagree or agree with him, to be on the platform. And I will say this is extending to a lot of different people in the content creation sphere. They're being used to promote things, market things, things or being propped up as political figures in the grand scheme of American politics as a whole. Hell, we just saw Logan Paul take on the transgender boxer in the Olympics recently, something that he had no knowledge about, but a lot of people were attaboying Logan Paul for making his claims and statements on the internet. Even somebody like Elon Musk, who bought Twitter just a couple years ago, saying that we need to keep Twitter as unbiased as possible and there should be no swaying left or right. For him 2 years later to publicly, outwardly, openly endorse President Trump, backing him with millions upon millions of dollars monthly, at least that's what he said his commitment was, and using Twitter, the free speech platform, as a way to seemingly push Trump into different algorithms and lights that a lot of other candidates would not see the push of.
I'm for electric cars. I have to be, because Elon endorsed me very strongly. Elon. No, I am for them. I'm for them for a small slice is a slice. But you want to have gas-propelled cars. You want to have hybrids. You want to have every kind of a car imaginable. They want to go all electric.
And it's kind of jacked up because there's a lot of people that come up on the internet to try to escape the realities of the harshness of the real world. And they don't want to see all this political stuff on their TLs, but they're now forced to. So with that being said, I guess it's now Kai's turn to bring Kamala Harris on there to get sturdy on his stream so we can know what stuff she's willing to deal with. How does she feel about the Young Thug case? I don't know. I think one of my biggest gripes in all of this is when Adin Ross uses this moment to ask about freeing people who are incarcerated or on trial for specific crimes, and he's not really doing it in good faith. He wants them out for music reasons, and of course President Trump is gonna say whatever he needs to say in order to get some of these people's votes and have Adin Ross therefore endorse him until the election season comes along. A lot of this stuff used to happen behind closed doors, the handshakes, the conversations, you scratch my back and I scratch your back, but it seems like a lot of it is just coming out to the light in 2024, and that's stuff that I just can't get down, especially when these people are actual criminals convicted of the crime. They've had their due process, they've had their fair trial, they've had all that stuff, but we are sitting here using these famous names in order to get a young and impressionable and honestly ignorant audience to do our biddings when it comes November 4th. I don't know. Round of applause for Adin Ross for getting Trump on stream, but boy oh boy is American politics cooked.